Okay, today 2 pickles. This is something I came up with, must be 30 years ago. I don't know if it's out there, other people do it, but something I decided one day I thought this would be a good idea. I like spicy food. Doesn't have to be totally mind-blowing, just add that little tang to it. It depends what you want to do. First one is this. Get yourself one of these little jars, and I use tin fruit for this. I suppose you could use the real thing, fresh, and it's tinned sliced peaches. If you don't want sliced, you can use half, and up to you again. You can have it in natural juice, you can have it in light syrup or a really good syrup, depending on which you prefer. I prefer a really good syrup because you need that little bit of sweetness to it. So simple. All I'm going to do is tip them into this jar, which just about works, and into that I'm going to put, for both of these, I could use Scott's bonnet, I could use jalapeno. For these I'm not going to go ballistic, I'm going to use jalapeno. Then you got to decide for the amount of tin fruit you have, what size of this you want, what sort of heat you want. I've got different sizes here. I'm just having a look through to see what sort of size I would prefer. I think for me that's a little bit low. That's probably a bit overdoing it. Well, that's about the same. We've got one that's sort of in the middle, that one there. So what you need to do, I cut the end off, cut it so that, dig the end out if you have to, because you want to be able to, you need the juice to soak into there, so it needs to get down inside. Now you can either do that, if you don't want it quite so hot, dig the seeds and the white little strands that are inside out. Strangely enough, those little strands that are attached to the chili, they're hotter than the seeds. It's not the seeds that are hot, it's the little veins inside. I'm going to leave it all there, and what I'm going to do as well, I'm just going to nick down it like that. If you can see it, that will just let it work a bit more. And all you do, plonk it in there, give it a bit of a turn because we don't want it to sort of sit on the top. So I've knocked it down into the peaches, and I just happen to have another tin of peaches here, so I don't need too much more juice, but I'm going to top it up to the top with peaches. Obviously these will last a little while, you're not going to have to eat them in one day, but there you go, the jalapenos somewhere there in the middle. Tighten the lid, do it up, and if you want, so it's there, give it a good shake, and again, me personally, I'd keep that in the fridge and come back a couple of times a day, just give it a turn around and move it about, get the juice going around them all. I would say by the end of the day, even, especially tomorrow, you can actually use that. And to be honest, it's gorgeous. Just eating the peaches are nice, but make a nice salad, put them on with your salad as an accompaniment to other dishes, meat, etc. Gorgeous. So there you have it. Really, that's a very simple, let's spice up the peaches. Like I said, you can use fresh, whatever, make your own syrup, juice, whatever. That's just a quick and simple way. The other one I'm going to do is, again, slightly bigger jar. But I'm going to use these because you might understand that chilies themselves are not that flavoursome. They're hot, but not many that's very flavoursome. These little boyos have got some flavour in them, depending what you like. Capsicum. So these are not hot at all. These just make your food taste really nice. I want a bit of colour, so I'm going to cut this one in half. And there's a really simple way of de-seeding these, which maybe I'll show you a different day, but quickly I'm just going to chop that out. I'm going to just slice that vein out. This vein isn't hot, it's just not nice looking. So you got a piece like that. I'm going to cut that in half. Just stick them in there. Now if you want, you don't have to, but you can add some onion in. So I've peeled an onion. I'm just going to do a slice like that, whack that in there. This can work for later. Like I said, a bit of colour, so I'm going to do the same with this one. Just cut that end out. The little vein bits just to make it look pretty without the vein. Tip the seeds out in half. Again, into the jar. Yes! Now, when you actually get this bottled, again, a couple of hours or so, you can use it. It will change in that amount of time. You'll look at the peppers and you can tell because the green starts going a very pale green as it's starting to change the flesh a little bit. In half again, 2 green bits in there. Get in, boy, out. Right, I can push them down a little bit. Should we have a little bit more red? Why not? We start with red, we'll finish with red. Now with this as well, you can do it just like this, or you can add a little bit of seasoning. It's entirely up to you if you want a little bit of salt and such in it. What should we do? There's the red one. I'm going to just take a couple of those out actually, and I'm going to add a little bit of pink Himalayan salt because that's gorgeous salt, and I use that all the time now on food rather than the usual white sort of salt. Right, now again you've got to make that decision. Are we going to use Scots bonnets and blow your top off? Are we going to use jalapenos? So what we're going to do today, because it's new to you, we're going to use jalapenos. I'm going to use a bigger one, and I'm going to again slice the end off, and this time I'm going to slice it in half, leave the seeds and everything, and I'm going to tuck those, I'll show you in a minute. I'm going to tuck those so they drop into different levels in the Now I'm just showing you these in some sort of order. You could have chopped these and put them in as you were layering it. I'm going to put another one that size because I'm a glutton for punishment, and these are not that bad really. I'm going to drop one near the top, another one in there, and now I'm going to stick these in. Oh yeah, ba-da-ba-doo. Give them a good press, it's not going to hurt if you crush them a little bit. And, oh, blow it, let's have a bit more. Just a little bit more green because it's going to sink down a little bit. Why not? Let's just stick another one on there, just because we can. Now the only other ingredient apart from that, white vinegar, and just top the jar up. Now this, because it's vinegar, you're going to be able to keep it. Vinegar is a preservative, so you don't have to worry, oh I've got to eat that by the end of the day, because it's going to keep. Nothing much lives in vinegar. So push that down. I don't know if I can really show you, but there you can see the vinegar's to the top. It's above the pepper. Now shut it up. Now the other thing you can do with this, if you want to, add a little bit of sugar. That'll just sweeten it a little bit if you prefer sweet pickles. And there you go. Capsicum peppers with jalapeno chili peppers. Again, give it a shake. You can put that in the fridge, not in the fridge, but it's nice when it's got that chill to it. And yeah, go back in the beginning of the process, keep giving it a bit of a shake to turn it around a bit. And as an hour or two goes past, just look in the jar like that at the skins, and you'll see it slowly changing colour. The red will get duller, the green will get slightly duller, a duller green, duller red. But again, 2 or 3 hours, presentable. Give it till tomorrow, so that'll be the boy. So you'll have a really tasty capsicum pepper with a little bit of oomph of jalapeno. There you go. 2 spicy delights.